Got it. I think we're good, bro.
All right, so this is episode 11 of the Shipmate Sports Podcast, the official Shipmate Sports Podcast.
It's crazy, man. It really is. We're rolling along in this, buddy. And like I said, I think we got a nice foundation of what we're trying to get out of this. And
I just want to talk sports with my friend. I don't know about everything else.
Listen. Of course,
I miss my homeboy.
Of course, that's what it all starts from, buddy. I just think we have a lot of good sports talk that I think people would enjoy. I think we have a good knowledge of the game and a good non-bias of the game.
Well, as a Detroit fan, I have to keep you in check. You know, about like how good you have had it, how good you still have it with your little Boston Red Sox hat on and everything like that. Speaking of which, so we got the Super Bowl today, right?
Yep.
Who do you want to win, and who do you think is going to win?
It's
hard, Joey. I know.
It is.
Your team's not in it for once in the past 22 years.
Well, I mean, last year, I was able to obviously cling on with the Brady bandwagon. This year, I don't have that.
I wouldn't call you a Brady bandwagoner, though.
No, but I'll admit that I jumped on it last year. This year, we were talking earlier, and I thought that this particular Super Bowl just lacked some like serious storyline to it.
Yeah,
there was nothing that jumped out and really grabbed the headlines.
I think the main thing has got to be Stafford. I mean, and I got bias with that, being the fact that I watched him in Detroit for so long. You gotta give some energy to that, give some credence to that storyline of him just being in Detroit for so long. And I the team I picked, that's the organization I picked, but those coaching staffs and those front offices, and just not, for whatever reason, not getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
Not getting this far, not even getting a playoff win. Only got the playoffs 3 times. His first year in LA. Got a team around him, a culture around him. I think they're in the Super Bowl.
That's gotta be like one of like the main, one of the main storylines of it, Stafford's journey to get to where he is. But like, Stafford's not a malcontent. He's for the most part, he's been pretty quiet. He never really, even when he was losing in Detroit and they weren't getting playoff wins, he never really was a complainer. So he was likable. I
would say he's respectable.
Yeah, you can respect his game.
I think like when he comes up in conversation, you don't have anything bad to say about him. It's only just like, man, like he put his time in, stuff like that. Like, right. There are people that would find bad things to say about Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And I would make the argument Aaron Rodgers is definitely more talented than Matthew Stafford. But he's got stuff out there in the media and whatnot, and people have their opinions of him, and Stafford doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, and that's sorry, I'm trying to share this here real quick. And that's why, like I say, I mean, if you gave me Stafford or Rodgers personality wise, I take Stafford over Rodgers any day, just because Rodgers, it's all me. Stafford just never complained, and it always seemed like he really did try when he was with the Lions, which is why, I mean, you could speak as a Lions fan. It seems like Detroit fans are pulling for him anyway.
I mean, I want Stafford to win. Like, I want the Rams to win. Totally.
Right. But do you, how am I trying to phrase this? Are you're pulling for the Rams strictly for Stafford?
That's a part of it. I was talking about this with somebody else, actually, when I went to go buy a beer for the game earlier.
I want to get back to that here in a minute.
I kind of like, for me, I'm not going to be upset no matter who wins, right? Because the Bengals, they're kind of like Detroit in a way, mm-hmm. right? They got to the Super Bowl back in '88, didn't win it. Detroit's never been to one. But
let's call spade a spade. They're a losing franchise.
They're one of the other perennial losers, just like
they're I told you they're the brown bag over the head, Bungles.
They're the Bungles.
The Bungles,
right?
Exactly.
That's what people do to insult them. They call them the Bungles, not the Bengals.
I mean, they called themselves that, I think, for the longest time.
Probably. and the Lions, just like the losers. The Lions have the 0-8, the winless season under their belt, so to speak.
Right.
And it's just, everything starts at the top, man. Everything starts with ownership. And the Bengals, Cincinnati, have been basically, what the Lions have been for so long. And they've finally got their moment in the sun, right?
Yep.
So personally, for me, they can lose this game. You got your playoff wins. You got there. You're good, right? Mm-hmm. You're good for another few years. Joe Burrow's going to be around for a while.
Yes, he really is.
But honestly, it's not guaranteed to get back here. It's not guaranteed to get back to the Super Bowl. And for me, Stafford has earned it, kind of in the Dan Marino sense.
The AFC is top heavy too. Sorry, I mean that is to your point about not guaranteed to get back. The AFC right now is pretty top heavy, and good with your Stafford.
And if Rodgers goes to the Broncos, the AFC is just, there is a bottleneck, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
Quarterback talent. Anyway, so I want the Rams to win. I want Stafford to get. I think that he's kind of just he's one of those guys that has been in the league for so long. You just kind of like to see him get one. Get him. Let's get him a ring. Get it over with. But you gotta win the game.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just get there, right? And so I think that Cincinnati is a pretty dangerous team. I think that Cincinnati will win. Ultimately, right. My pick is Cincinnati. I want the Rams to win. I want Stafford to get it.
So I think I'm actually the complete opposite of you. I think I want the Bengals, but I think the Rams are going to win. But if there was ever a year that I genuinely didn't care, it's this one. Like I one way or another, I don't care who wins this game. There's no villain in the game. There's no team, neither team has somebody that's just despisable. Neither team has, neither team is the Patriots. They haven't dominated the league for X amount of years, and we're tired of seeing them.
How about Odell Beckham? How about his journey to where he's at now? Starting in New York, going to Cleveland.
If he was a bigger part of the Rams, then maybe. But the thing is, he's kind of acclimated to being a role player. He's not the spotlight. And I don't think that he's ever been like the diva that people have made him out to be. I think that he's just passionate for the game of football.
Joe, he had the video of him in the hotel room, and he was there with a girl, and he had like the lines of, I think they just called it a white powdery substance on the tray. Are we not allowed to say cocaine or something? Like, I don't know. Like, it was right. But I mean, he's not the quarterback doing that. He's partying in a hotel room. In fact, right, I'd be surprised if a lot of NFL players weren't doing things of that nature.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, if that's some of the stuff that you want to throw out, I mean, there's plenty of guys that are doing stupid stuff like that.
They had the boat trip down to Miami during the playoffs. Remember that? He was on.
That was
the boat trip.
I remember that. That's going back. But I mean, I feel like he's done a decent job of just kind of fitting in and not trying to put all the spotlight on him.
You know what, man? I gotta say, like when you're young, you do what young people do. When you
Right.
have that much money and when you're in your 20s and you get millions of dollars.
The kid's got talent too, Mike. Let's
He does, but talent doesn't, supersede behavior, right? I mean, in some organizations it might, Washington, but you know, you can only behave so much before he's just like Josh Gordon, right? All the talent in the world, couldn't stop smoking weed. He's out of the NFL now, and he had multiple chances, right?
He did.
But with OBJ, it's kind of like a story of redemption and reinventing oneself, where he had these problems in these off the field issues, right? And I think he had a spat there with Josh Norman the one game they played against Carolina. They were going back and forth.
I just looked at it as two really good competitors going at it. I mean, again, I feel like sometimes they try to make stories that out of something that's really not there. I mean, you just had two guys that liked going at it with each other, and yet, a really good corner, really good receiver, and it was just great matchups when they played each other.
Yeah, I think that the Odell that we saw in Cleveland and who we're seeing now, you can't really keep holding that over somebody's head. I mean, you can if you want to, right? Ever since he's been in LA and transitioned over there, he's done a really great job of just coalescing into that team.
Yep.
And being productive, and he hasn't been a distraction. So
no, like I said, he's fit into his role. It's the old montage, the do your job thing, and he's just kind of went there, done what he needed to do, and it's worked for him. Now, with that being said, I mean, have you heard much build up the last 2 weeks for this game?
I haven't heard, but I will also admit that I haven't really been listening to as much sports radio that I typically listen to.
Sure.
And I've got some other stuff going on just outside of,
Sure.
Whatever. But
I mean, I haven't. I mean, we've talked the week leading up to the Super Bowl. They always do the radio row, and the lot of really good interviews. And there just wasn't a lot of that this year. I don't know. Everything COVID. I mean, everything. There's no Rice Krispies in the cereal. It's because of COVID.
Yeah.
I think my wife went to the store looking for something random, and there was breadcrumbs, and they didn't have it, and it was COVID. So everything's COVID. So I don't know if
now did they not have breadcrumbs because of COVID, or did everybody go get breadcrumbs because of COVID? Was that the
I don't.
Everybody needed it was like the toilet paper, right? Everybody gotta have it.
Everybody, COVID.
I didn't know that we were using the bathroom so much as a person, but I have found out that the numbers, I don't know. So as long as if we have the toilet paper and the breadcrumbs, we're
well, speaking of stuff that we get at the grocery store, Mike, listen, Super Bowl Sunday. Well, give me your must-haves for Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh man, it used to be.
You go into a Super Bowl party. What are you expecting to be readily available to you?
I expected to be beer.
Okay.
All right. Like, let's just just give me some Miller Lite. I'm good. Bud Light, whatever, man. Just something, you can drink 10 beers and not get drunk or whatever. No big deal. It's not like your actual good beer that's like an IPA or a craft beer, a stout or a porter or something like that. Probably not doing too much Guinness, probably no whiskey or anything, just some beer, right? Some chips, some dip, the veggie dipper is going to get the celery and the ranch in there, whatever, man.
Is double dipping allowed at the Super Bowl party?
It depends. It depends who's there. If it's me and my girl, double dip all day. Right?
I'm talking you're at a party, 20, 30 people.
No double dip. I'm probably not even using the dip, to be honest. I'm just whatever. Because of COVID, yeah. Of course. Then you gotta have you gotta have all your meat. You're doing some kielbasa, you're doing some wing, like sausages and stuff like that. You got to have stuff you can keep picking off of, right? You don't want to have like big steaks and stuff like that. It's got to be like wings.
Now, do you want some
sausages.
Variety on your wings, or are you just strictly a buffalo wing, or what are we talking? You want some sweet, some spicy? You want?
I prefer just put the seasoning on the wings. You know what I mean? Don't like if I'm going to somebody's house, right?
You don't want to get messy.
I don't want the experimental hot sauce that you had, you know, in like Asia somewhere that your cousin got you that's illegal in South Carolina. You know what I mean? Just Just put the wings on the grill, or even in the oven. Wings are really good too. Let's be honest, right? Just put the sauce on the side. If I want the ranch or the barbecue or the hot sauce, and I'll dabble in everything. Okay. You know what I mean? I don't turn anything away. But stuff you can just put your hand on and eat real quick, you know, and that's.
I'm always a fan of some sort of a meat that's on a toothpick. I don't know. There's all different types of meats on a toothpick.
The kebabs are really good, and so that's where you get into like your beef, right? Your steaks, like your strip steak, stuff like that. And another really good thing on the grill is you make your kebab ahead of time, right? Your skewer, know what I mean? You can line that up, you know, with your like steak, onion, green pepper, steak, onion, green, kind of like that, just like a pattern. Put that on the grill, man. And vegetables actually do really well on the grill, and they go really well when you tie them in to your meat and everything like that. So for me, it's like just stuff I can put my hands on. Kebab, that's a really good suggestion, actually. But I don't want to be there with like a knife and fork, you know. I want to watch the game and just, you know.
Right. You want eye contact. You want to be able to just pick and move.
Yeah. Now, I don't need all that.
I gotta ask, were you still there? We had duty. Yeah, you must have been there. We had duty the year it was the Steelers and the Cardinals in the Super Bowl. We were on duty that Sunday.
Man, and you know that should be that. That's like a violation, right? Even for the military. It's like, dude, it's the Super Bowl. Stand down, you know.
Well, this is my point that I'm trying to get at. So I will not name names, but we had a short, I believe, senior chief that was in charge of our duty section.
That guy.
Who decided to call, I don't know if it was clamp down, sweepers.
It's raining outside. Go sleep.
Yeah. But he called it right after Larry Fitzgerald caught the touchdown in the fourth quarter. I don't know if you remember this.
God, yeah.
And
I remember the touchdown.
And I remember like all of us looking at each other like, he can't be serious right now. He's got to do this now. And I don't think anybody went. And I think we all wound up getting in some kind of trouble for it.
Yeah.
We were all just trying to find different places to hide and watch the end of the game.
I was just like, dude, like.
We're all on a
weird.
a Navy warship, like in like nooks and crannies, trying to find different spots to watch the game with
hiding up in the angle iron. Like.
we knew it was going to rock through.
Yeah, and he did, man. And I think that, you know, he did that just to basically, like, that will be forever etched in our mind.
Yep.
You know, like, hey, you know what I'm going to do to these guys? Hey, they just scored. All right, sweepers.
He did that. He did it.
Five people show up.
And he did it when the Red Sox won the World Series in 2007, right before the final out. I missed the Red Sox win the World Series in 2007 because of him.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I'll never forget those two memories. They're in there, brother.
So another storyline for this game is Andrew Whitworth, right?
Okay.
The offensive lineman for the Rams, left tackle.
Say, yeah, lineman, okay.
Right? Used to play for Cincinnati.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of interesting, like, you know, if he would have stuck it out with Cincinnati instead of coming to now, was he on that Jared Goff team that went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots? I think
I don't know.
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I want to say he was, because I feel like he's only been in LA for like 2 years or something like that. But he may not have been. He's a journeyman in the NFL. He's been in the NFL for almost like 20 years or something like that, I think.
Really?
And he's also been playing at a very high level. I mean, he's been in forever.
I didn't think he's been around that. Oh yeah, wow, yes, he's been around a long time.
Yeah, no, he's
40
he's
years
very
old.
well credentialed. So
and I'm trying to figure it out right now. He would have been on the Rams team that went to the Super Bowl. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, I like Joe Burrow, you know, and you see what he said to the press, you know, like his interviews are just like, he's a very likable guy.
Yep.
and I got nothing against him.
Yeah, he seems like a really, really good kid. And he's got moxie to him, Mike.
He's got the moxie. Yeah, he's got it. Right?
He's got moxie. He's got swagger that's not like in your face, and just he's like you said, he's got the it thing to him, and I like him.
In that game against Tennessee, I was on the Tennessee train the whole season, right? But in that game again, and by the way, Tennessee is a team that it gets overlooked a lot, but they were the number 1 seed. They lost the main focal point of their offense and Derrick Henry throughout like most of the year. They had injuries all up and down, and they still made it to the number 1 seed. And I think that Vrabel should be in the conversation of Coach of the Year. I think Zach Taylor will probably get it.
But they already announced it. Vrabel already won it.
Did he?
Vrabel won it.
That's how up to date I am in sports. Okay, it's just Anyway, but this is Burrow's first full year coming back from the ACL, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you really got to get behind that, man. You can't hate on that. Like, I can see the point of view of some people being like, he's got to have more time in the league, and you know what I mean. He'll get back here, stuff like. It's like, dude, look, man, you get to the Super Bowl. This isn't a moral victory, right? This isn't like hey, we got here, guys, good job. We can get here again, but right now it's the Rams' time. Like, no, man. Like, we're coming in here to beat you on the Rams' home field.
Right.
Right now, it might not really be a home game for the Rams because the fans in LA, there's a lot to do in LA and stuff like that. So,
well, see, that to me, Mike, right there. It says a lot about franchises. So, you talk about like you get there, you want to win, like, and if you lose, you lost. But you got two franchises that I wouldn't say have like the rowdiest fan bases. I don't see either of those franchises, if their team loses tonight, nitpicking their team if they lose. I can guarantee you'll hear a lot of, we made it further than we should have. But ultimately, you get there and you lose, you lost. Somebody tonight is going to be a loser, and they deserve some sort of criticism. A team tonight will lose this game and will deserve some form of criticism. And making it there or not, I mean, you're making it there to win the game, not get there and be just a player in a game. No, you want to get there and you want to win.
What's the criticism for the Rams if they win or lose? Excuse me.
If they lose, I mean, they're the favorite in the game. I mean, it would be a choke if the Rams lose.
But I mean,
everything is in line for them to win tonight. They're the home team. They're more experienced. They're just the overall better team. They've been on the stage before. So it's all there for the Rams. And if they don't win, to me, it's a choke.
So what's the criticism of the Bengals if they lose?
It depends how they lose. I mean, if Burrow goes out tonight and has an absolute stinker, it could be, maybe the kids just the lights were too bright. It's hard to say after he just went into Kansas City and won. But, Marino got there one time, Mike. If he gets there tonight and has an absolute stinker, I mean, it's that could be the criticism. I mean, if the Rams just go up and down the field on him, it could be the defense. But either way, what I'm saying is I don't want to hear tomorrow, oh, they made it there. They did good. No, if your team loses in the Super Bowl, they deserve criticism.
Well, so for the criticism for the Bengals for me is that it's a young team, largely unknown. They overachieved, to get to this point. I mean, Joe Burrow made some throws in Kansas City, man, that were just like, dude.
Legit.
I was like, Shiza, like, And the criticism of the Rams for me is just that, oh, they spent all this money in free agency. You can't just buy a championship. You know, how are you going to afford this team going forward to get back here? Right.
Well, I mean, you talk about the Rams and how they got there. I'd like to hit on that real quick. And they kind of break the mold on how they built their team. I mean, most teams do what, Mike? They like to build through the draft, stockpile their picks, get younger. And the Rams said, no, thank you. We want to try it another way. We want to trade our unknown draft picks, and we want to get proven commodities. We'll sell the future for the now. And ultimately, it's worked. And I think McVay and I don't know all their leadership, but McVay deserves credit for how they've kind of built this, kind of going against the trends. I mean, not a lot of teams, Mike, would risk what they've risked. Their next first round pick is what, in like 4 years? Am I right on? It's
I know like Detroit's got the next two at least.
Exactly. So they said no. I mean, we'd rather trade for the proven than draft the unproven.
Well, what's
now? It might make their window smaller, and we discussed this earlier. Their window might be smaller because of it, but ultimately the window that they have, they've done well in.
What's the hit rate on draft picks?
Can't be good.
It's got like, and when I mean hit,
and obviously I mean, by round, it's dropping each round.
Yeah. Well, this isn't the NBA where there's like the top three is like,
and then everything else,
right? I mean, this is, in the NFL draft, you have starters that are undrafted,
right?
7th round, 6th round. There's talent throughout.
But if you're saying what is the actual hit rate, I'm telling you, each round it's got to go down step by step.
Yeah, I think that's a general consensus. I mean, you have talent found. I mean, rounds 2, 3, and 4, right? There's plenty of starters on every NFL team in those rounds. You still have undrafted players throughout the league. I think about like a third of the league is undrafted. A lot of the league is undrafted, more so than we would figure. And then you have your first rounders in there who are more well known for failing than they are for hitting, really. Stafford, number 1 pick, Joe Burrow, number 1 pick. Yep. Right. So and I don't have a problem with the way that the Rams have built a team, because they're saying that, like, look, man, we're gonna draft somebody and we don't have to 100% dive in. This upcoming draft, I mean, it's kind of stress-free for the Rams, right? Mm-hmm. They're kind of like, yeah, we don't have to worry about, spending a number 1 pick on, a linebacker or something like that, and then finding out 3 years later he doesn't love football.
But Mike, now let me get back real quick to the Rams window there. We really can't judge how successful their window is until the window is closed, in my opinion. So if this window is only going to be 3 or 4 years, right? With all they've traded away. And they don't win a championship in that window. To me, that it's a failure. What they've done, accumulating all these star players and giving up the draft picks, if they don't get a championship out of it, it's a failure. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself here. We have to see what happens tonight. We have to see what happens in the next couple of years. But if they trade for the older proven guy and get nothing out of it, they're setting themselves up for, 5-6 years down the line. They're going to be in some trouble with that. You don't have a first or second round pick for 3 or 4 straight drafts. It's eventually going to catch up to you, because you're not going to have the capital to go out and trade for these guys anymore if you don't have the picks either.
I mean, they drafted Aaron Donald.
Right. But I'm saying is,
not everybody on the Rams is like a free agent acquisition.
No. But what I'm saying is moving forward, they don't have first round picks, and I believe they got rid of a couple of their second round picks too. Yeah. And so I'm saying, like, their window is a short window because they are older players. And if they win a championship this year, and maybe they get to one more, maybe they pop out another one, then what he does is it's successful. You know what I mean?
If they win tonight, is their method successful? Yay or nay? Or is it somewhere in between?
Yeah, no, I'll call it successful.
So
the ultimate goal is to get a championship.
You don't.
You want sustained winning.
Success. Yes.
There you go. Sustained success. But ultimately, the goal is to get a championship. And if you're going to grade a 4-year window, which we'll look at the Rams 4-year window, if they win it this year and they made it 3 years ago, that's a success in my opinion. Absolutely.
I think that. I think that if they win it tonight, the goal is to win a championship. You got the new stadium. The team just moved out there. You got to the playoffs last year with Goff and won a playoff game. This isn't a team that's, this isn't Jacksonville. This isn't Detroit. It's not their first year in the postseason, right? Aaron Donald's been there before, like the majority of the team has, right? They know they need to get it done. Right. They're capable of getting it done. And even if they don't get it done this year, Stafford's still there for another couple of years, right? Now, Von Miller I don't know what his time is going to be there, Odell Beckham, but I think that they know that Stafford's there. The rest of the defense is legit. They've got really good pieces on offense. Cooper Kupp is in they already had the MVP awards, but he was in the MVP conversation. So, as a wide receiver. Anyway, I think the Rams are built to win now, but they're also built to win in the next few years. And they have to know their front office isn't dumb.
Nope.
Right. They're not unaware that they don't have draft picks in the next few years. Right. They know they traded them away. Mm-hmm. Or they should. Somebody up there should not. Les Snead, the GM over there, he should definitely be aware of that. But, they're not bringing in free agents that can't play. They're bringing Jalen Ramsey, Odell Beckham, Von Miller. Right. These are, like you said, proven commodities. Matthew Stafford. Right. And a lot of people weren't sold on Matthew Stafford. Right. He's in Detroit, man. I don't know. Why can't he win the games there? Anyway, whatever. When the talent's there, the talent's there. Mm-hmm. And you're putting talent upon talent upon, They're just stacking up talent at the various positions. Mm-hmm. But football, you're not going to win every game. Mm. And so there was that lull there in the regular season of, the Rams didn't look good. And people were just like, I don't know, Stafford's making mistakes and stuff like that. Here they are, man, in the postseason, in the championship game and in the Super Bowl. And it works to do it this way, but it also works the way Cincinnati's doing it through the draft. You have I got to be honest, man, I don't really know. Outside of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon, I can't name anybody on their offensive line or defensive line for that matter, really. Mm-hmm. The kicker, Evan McPherson, and he's been clutch throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, good pick.
Another, a largely, passed over topic is a solid special teams game. Yeah. And special teams now it's not everything, but it is important that you make these field goals, throughout throughout the season. 3 points. That's points on the board, man. And if you have a kicker who's 90%,
that kid looks good.
Yeah.
They drafted a good one there.
You can't have a kicker who's, he's just pulling them right or hooking them left all the time. It's like, dude, you got to make your extra points. You got to. If it's 50 yards or in, if it's 45 yards or in, that's got to be automatic or close to automatic. Once you get up on that 50-yard, 55-yard mark, it's like, all right, man, there's more room for error, but that can't really go overlooked too much either, in my opinion. You got to be putting points on the board. So, for me, if you get in the red zone and it's 3rd and 3, you don't get those 3 yards, just kick the field goal, man. That's where I'm at. Just, take the points, reset, kick it back off, and put your defense out there. And it's a little bit of a morale boost too.
So, I would say the one area where I think the Bengals might have the advantage, their running game is better. And that's where they might be able to get some momentum in this game. Would you agree with that? With Mixon, I know you mentioned him on their offense. Because I know the Rams got Sony Michel from the Patriots, and he was doing well towards the end of the season. But I feel like if the Bengals can control the ball with Mixon, get anything kind of going with that, they could win they could sneak the game through. And like I said, I mean, I don't think that there's a clear winner. Like I said, I think the Rams are a little bit favored in the game, and that's who I'm picking. But if they can get Mixon going, which is no easy task, obviously, with Donald on the other side, that's going to be their path to victory.
Well, Cam Akers is back for the Rams, right? He came back from the Achilles, and he's the one that almost fumbled the game away over there in Tampa.
Right.
Remember that? I mean, and the 49ers shut down the running game pretty much in the NFC Championship game. It's been, we have had amazing playoff football every game, except for like the first round, the wild card round. But after that, it's just
we don't need to be reminded of the first round of the playoffs.
Sorry, man.
we don't need to be reminded.
I apologize for bringing up, sore spots in your life.
Yeah.
Anyway, if Cincinnati's gonna win, you've got to keep Stafford on the bench, because he can come out there and he can just, he can really push the ball down the field, and that's one thing Stafford's known for, is he is a gunslinger, right? Mm-hmm. And if you need to get a touchdown quick and you need to go 75 yards, he can do it all about 3 throws if he really wants to. And he's got the receivers there in LA to do it. You keep him on the bench. By the way, Burrow's no slouch either. So, I mean, he can push the ball downfield. And I don't know. I think that Jalen Ramsey's going to have his hands full with Jamar Chase tonight. That's going to be a really great matchup to watch.
It is.
If they can roll the coverage over to Jamar Chase, that'll open up some things for Higbee.
Well, so I know one of the prop bets.
Excuse me, not Higbee, but Higgins, T. Higgins. Sorry.
I know one of the prop bets is Chase plus or minus. I believe it was 80 yards. I think I'd take the under on that one.
Nah, I think he goes up 80 yards
with Ramsey covering him.
He's good, man.
I will say it only takes one busted coverage to have a big play. And
I don't know. Like, the Rams went and brought back Eric Weddle. So, he's plus 80 yards. I mean, I think he gets it. Because Chase, he's not just like your outside the numbers, like Randy Moss type of receiver.
Well,
so I think he can. I think he can do that.
Try to pull up some of the prop bets real quick. See what there were some actually interesting ones that I heard the other day. But that was one that I actually enjoyed, and I thought.
Well, I mean, either way, I think Burrow can. I mean, they can convert third downs. I mean, it's going to be really hard because Aaron Donald demands. He's going to get doubled every time.
Yeah, right? Sure.
But I mean, we saw San Francisco move the ball successfully against LA. It's not just like, oh, Aaron Donald's like the Reggie White reincarnate or something like that. Like, you can manipulate your scheme offensively around that and be successful and get first downs and move the ball and score points. The question is here, I mean, we saw against Tennessee, right? Cincinnati's offensive line, 9 sacks, right? I think 1 even got called back. It should have been 10.
There was,
right? They gave up 9 sacks against Tennessee, Cincinnati did. So, So I think if Cincinnati is if they're going to win this game, it's going to come down to that offensive line. I'm calling that's my prediction, right? If they're going to win, they're going to keep Stafford on the bench, put up points. They have to score on almost every drive, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown.
Yep.
And their drives are going to have to be 6 minutes, 7 minutes, stuff like that. They don't do that. They don't convert third downs. If they don't protect Joe Burrow, no, I don't think Cincinnati's defense wins this game for them.
Put it this way, to me, the Rams have more of a room for error than the Bengals do.
I think Stafford's going to throw an interception at some point, and it's going to be the crowd's going to go wild, all that stuff. And then the next drive, he's going to come back and throw like a 40-yard bomb or something like that. And that's just how Stafford is. He's just so erratic. You know what I mean? You'd want him to take the check down. You want him to take the 5-yard out, on 3rd and 4, right? But he's 3rd and 4. Screw it, man. Like, dude. And it's so, man, he plays like that hero ball sometimes.
Well, yeah, Mike, hang on. Let's hit some of these. I always have some fun with these. Let's have some fun with them real quick. Let's hit some of these Super Bowl.
Right.
Let's do
the.
Give me the. We'll start with the margin of victory. Who do you have, and by what?
I think it's going to be like 38-35, 38-34, or something like that.
Right, so you're going Bengals, and so you would say plus 75. I'm saying Rams by 1-6, and so that's plus 320. All right, give me the first score method. Who will it be, and what type of score will it be?
I think the Rams score first. It's going to be a field goal.
So you're saying Rams with a field goal?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Bengals with a touchdown. I'm going to say a big touchdown too. What's going to be the result?
What do you mean a big touchdown? Touchdown's a touchdown. What do you mean, like a 40-yard touchdown? What do you mean?
It's going to be
run back the opening kick. Like, what's the
something? It's not going to be a 1-yard run up the middle. It's going to be something interesting. It's going to be a pick six, a fumble return, a flea flicker. Something. It's going to be something interesting. So,
wouldn't a 1-yard touchdown run? I mean, that's still a pretty amazing play when you think of like what has to happen.
Oh, come on! It's a boring touchdown. It's a boring touchdown. It's going to be something fun. All right, listen.
Why don't you go watch your Patriots win another Super Bowl and just get in a good mood?
It's not going to happen for quite a while, buddy. Not until Mac. not until
you don't think Mac Jones is.
No, I do not think Mac Jones
the answer.
Is no, I think Mac Jones is the answer.
Do the Patriots draft a quarterback this year or what?
No, because everybody freaking loves him. He's the answer for the Patriots sitting in the cellar for the next 10 years. All right, for the Bengals' first drive result, what do you see?
I think both teams are going to punt on their first drive. I think it's going to be some nerves, and then after that, things settle down a little bit.
All right, that's the favorite thing. I'm gonna say a turnover. I think a fumble. What's the Rams' first drive result going to be? You said punt.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a punt. Yeah.
All right.
What do you think? You have to reciprocate, Joey. All right. This isn't an exam for me here. All right. I had an interview earlier this week. You got to help me out.
Well, I could see them getting the field goal. I could see at least a field goal attempt.
Okay.
Let's go with the missed field goal on their opening drive.
Are you writing this down or what?
Yeah, we got to record it. We can play it back.
Okay. All right. We're very professional here on the shit.
Which team will score 10 points first?
I think the Rams do.
The Rams score 10 points first. I'm also going to go with the Rams. Which team scores 15 points first?
I think the Bengals do. Yeah.
Staying with it. Which team scores 25 points first?
Probably the Bengals.
I'm going with the Rams.
Give me Rams on that one. Sorry. Yeah.
Did either team score 40?
No.
Neither team's going with the 40?
No. I call it 38-35, or 38-34, excuse me, the final. No, 40 points? I don't know, man.
I'm gonna stay away from that. What team scores last in the game?
Rams.
Is it a garbage time touchdown? Because you have them losing.
No, it's Stafford coming back to win the game.
Wait, but you said the Bengals are going to win.
So I know, man. Oh, well, hold on. Right.
So you're saying the touchdown's going to get them within 3, and then they're going to try to get the ball back, but ultimately the Rams will score last, trying to get back into the game.
Yeah.
Is that okay, fair enough. I could see a garbage time touchdown by the Bengals.
I mean, I think the Bengals it's going to be like 34-31. The Bengals, they score a touchdown, get the extra point, 38-34. Then Stafford tries to,
I see what you're saying.
That just goes against what I what I just said, doesn't it?
Kind of already answered this one.
All
Will the
right.
team that scores the first win the game? I say yes. You guys, I think you already said that.
Nah, I think the Rams score first, but I think the Bengals win.
Okay.
The more we talk about this, I think the Rams are going to win. I get the feeling the Rams are going to win this game.
Right.
The more we
Wait a second. First, that doesn't really make any sense. Will the game go into overtime? We've already kind of leaned towards no. I do not think it'll go towards. I'd like to see it go into overtime.
That would be because I think the last overtime Super Bowl was the Patriots Falcons.
That's certainly right, my friend.
The famous comeback.
The only one.
That
Will
was
there
what
be
Brady's
a safety. Number 5, buddy. That was number 5. That was the one.
Will there be a safety? No, there was not going to be a safety.
There was not going to be a safety. No. What team will call the first timeout?
Oh, Rams. They don't care about all that stuff.
Bengals.
I got Rams.
They're young. They're young. They're going to be all. I could see a Bengals timeout on the first possession. I could see a bit.
I mean, it's all scripted. That first drive is all scripted plays, right? Like they know.
First team to get a penalty.
I want to say LA.
I'll go with LA too.
I think they know that their margin of error, but they're veterans, man. I mean, that's veteran leadership all up and down. I'd say Cincinnati, first team get a penalty.
All right. You've already kind of answered this one. Total points for the Bengals over or under 21.5. You're obviously going over.
Yeah.
I'm going to go under.
What is the over under this game?
I'm trying to find that. I think I'm still scrolling.
Jeez, man. How many prop bets we got?
There's a lot of them. Total points for the Bengals in the first quarter. So, all right, here you go. Total points in the first quarter for the Bengals, over under 3.5.
Over,
I agree.
Over, yeah.
Total points for Rams in the first quarter, over under 6.5.
I think that they over. I'll go over with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's all of them, buddy.
All right. I know we got to wrap it up here soon, man. You got the kickoff happening around 6:30 or something like that. So
all right.
Yeah.
One more time. What do you got? Give me the final score. Give me your MVP.
Honestly, after talking about this and having this wonderful episode, I think the Rams are going to win. I have flip-flopped. I'm flipping and flopping, man.
Is your guy bringing home the MVP?
Here's the thing. I think if the Rams win, it's like automatically goes to Stafford.
Sure.
Right. But this could very well be a defensive victory, shutting down Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati offense.
Dude, the quarterback or a receiver always wins, man.
I know.
It's one of the skill positions.
Yeah. No, I would say this. Here's my prediction. I'm sticking with it. I'm switching from what I said earlier. And I apologize to the whole internet about switching my position. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Whatever. Anyway, lock it in. I got the Rams winning, right? 38-34 over the Bengals. I think it's like I mentioned earlier, the Bengals will be up 34-31 or something like that, and Stafford throws a touchdown like the last few minutes or something like that, and then that's it.
Mikey,
what you got?
Rams are going over 40. 48-10. St. Louis.
You think it's going to be just
LA Rams
boat race? Huh? You think it's just
Shades of Super Bowl 20 when the Bears blew out the Patriots? It's going to be just like that. The Rams are going to steamroll them. Give me the Rams 48-10.
Does that work if you? Who's
your MVP? Buddy? Matt Stafford. No problem. No question about it.
Are you? We had. I know we're going over, but whatever. We had a conversation years ago where you asked me, "Is Matthew Stafford an NFL quarterback?" I don't know if you remember that.
I'm sure. It sounds like something I would say.
Yes. Is he an NFL quarterback now at this point?
Oh yeah. I
remember telling you, I was like, well, he plays in the NFL. He's a quarterback. Why is he not? But he played Detroit for all that time. So, yeah.
No, I like him. I think tonight he really balls out, and I think he takes him, and I see him winning the MVP. I see him having a huge game. I could see like a 500-yard passing game for him. 4 or 5 touchdowns. I think they're gonna blow him out. So
interesting. Okay, yeah.
All right, buddy.
Joe.
It's been a fun season. We'll do a season recap maybe next week. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think things are opening up for us outside of this a little bit more, so we should be able to kind of get a schedule going. It's funny that happens after football season.
Hey,
so
you know what? We got our feet wet this year. Next year we got some traction rolling, and it'll be the weekly thing that we wanted it to be next year.
I'm in a lighted room, man. Isn't this nice? I got excellent. All right,
buddy.
See you later.
Take care, pal. Always fun.
Yeah, man.
All right, buddy.